Hello everyone and welcome to the 17th round of the 2010 GP4 Offline Championship. I am George Rogue and welcome to the Korean Grand Prix at the Yonggam International Circuit. So first of all, let's go through the race rating and the driver of the day for the Japanese Grand Prix. Personally, the best race of the season for me. So the race rating was given a 9.25 out of 10 and the driver of the day was given to Rela Muchin, who got a podium for Force India. And some team news for this race: that Sauber have signed Ren Jians, the GP4 DTM offline champion, for the first ever season, and Williams have kept both drivers for 2011, which means a whole new lineup at Sauber with Rifki Fakhrizadeh, the GP2 champion, and now Ren Jians, the DTM champion. So that could be an interesting lineup for next season. Obviously, Williams keeping both Anna Wolff and Sam Thompson. So we're here at the Yonggam circuit, a new circuit. As you can see, a circuit which will be very interesting to see, as we have you can see the long back straight from turn 2 to turn 3, which will probably mean a lot of overtaking at that point, maybe also into turn 1 as well. So let's head to the grid. So here we are, and Waze Cooper is going to be on pole with Florian Volker in second place, Alex Southgate in third, Will Neller in fourth place. In fifth place is Felix Sonntag, followed by Joseph Willows in sixth place. Southgate getting his best qualifying of the season. Definitely been outmatched by Felix Sonntag this season, that's for sure. Seventh place is Evan Byrne, performed well in the Renault. Eighth place is Harmar Carr, an impressive qualifying from him. Carr, who's only got 3 points finishes so far this season, with this last one being at the Singapore Grand Prix. Sam Thompson is in ninth place with James Willows, who needs to get close to Florian Volker to stand any chance. Needs to finish ahead of Volker to keep in the championship, otherwise Volker will be the champion here in Korea. Forgot to mention that as well. Viggo Holston 11th, Rela Muchin 12th, Robert Ionescu 13th, and George Roque 14th. Roque, who's currently a free agent at the moment, not sure where exactly he's going. There was rumours he was going to be at Sauber, but with Ren Jians going there, they're not sure whether he might drop down from the top tier, which proves how far his career has downtailed. Alan Wolff in 15th, Miguel Oscar 16th, Finley Strack in 17th, followed by Roman Quag in 18th place. 19th place is Jay McKenzie, followed by Michael Mocho in 20th, and at the back will be the two virgins of Jordan Maturin and, of course, Kellyn Bryce. So that is the grid for the Korean Grand Prix. And also, it should be mentioned, if I didn't say before, that Florian Volker, as long as he finishes ahead of James Willows, he will win the championship here in Korea. It'll be interesting to see if he has more luck than he did at Japan, where his car unfortunately failed on him. So we will see. Anyway, so the weather, as you can see, it will be a wet race, so it will get noticeably wetter as the race goes on. It'll be light rain at the start, but then it will become heavy at the end of the race. So that will be very, very interesting to see how that goes, as we will now head to the grid for the race. So here we are, 55 laps around the Korean Grand Prix circuit, as Waze Kuba is on pole position. As now the lights are coming on, so we now have 3 lights, 4 lights, and now 5 lights. And the lights are out, and away we go. And Florian Volker has got a fantastic start out of Waze Kuba in second place. So Florian Volker takes the lead. That's exactly the start he would have needed as they head into turn 1. And is Volker going to keep the lead? But no, Kuba looks like he's going to go around the outside. No, there's been a crash at the back. It looks like a Williams has been involved there. I'm not sure who it is. We might find out in a minute as we look at if we look at the replay. But there is a Williams out of the race, and it looks like it is Adam Wolff. It is Adam Wolff who's out of the race. Not a good start for him. But Waze Kuba has taken the lead back from Volker, and Volker's now under pressure from Alex Southgate in third place. Good start by Southgate. Is Southgate going to make a move coming into turn 3? And there's a bit of contact there, but Southgate, I don't think, has managed to get through. Volker still keeps second place. So the interesting thing will be what happened at the back of the grid. As we go on, as we have a look from Adam Wolff's point of view, and we'll have a look at the start. So let's see what happened here. So obviously you can see currently the track is wet. It's not raining at the moment, but it's going to get heavier as the race goes on. But anyway, so Wolff makes a decent start. So let's see what happens. So he's behind the Toro Rosso there and the two Force Indias. So he gets into the Force India. I think that's Rela Muchin, and he makes contact with as Miklos Gau actually hits the back of him. Miklos Gau, not the start he would have wanted at all. He had a poor qualifying, and that certainly cost him. As you can see, he goes into the back of Adam Wolff. I think don't think that was really a stupid move there. I think that was an accidental collision there. So Miklos Gau, not what he would have wanted at all in the championship race, although I'm not sure he's actually still in it technically. He has to, I think, win all the last 3 races to stand any chance. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's certainly not going to happen now. See, there's contact made, and unfortunately Wolff just slid right into the path of Gau, which forced him out of the race. So unfortunate there for the British driver, and unfortunately for Gal as well, the Hungarian driver. So he is going to unfortunately have to go around the whole lap before pitting, so that might cost him come the end of the race. And now Jamie Casey trying to make a move past Finley Strachan and the Sauber as they come into turn 3, and Strachan holds his position and keeps it from Jay McKenzie as the cars all head into turn 4. All line astern one by one. Looks like James Willis has dropped a couple of positions by the looks of it. Looks like he dropped one into the mid-pack, so not a good start from him. As you can see, Wolf's car just drifting by the pit exit there. So Cooper leads with Volker second, Southgate third, Sontag fourth, Evan Burns moved to the fifth. He's made a good start. Nell sixth, Holst has moved up to seventh. He's made a good start as well. James Willows is actually in 8th, so I think he has moved a couple of positions, so you can ignore my previous statement. Thompson 9th, Ionescu's made up a few positions as well in 10th, Carr 11th, James Willows in 12th, so I don't know who I've just said who's in 8th, but it looks like there's 2 James Willows. It might be Joseph Willows, I think, that I should have said in 8th place, I should say. Roke is in 13th. I see the rest of the orders. Wolf's car still drifting by the pit exit, so let's hope he gets out of the way before Gal comes out the pits, so he doesn't hopefully run into him. But Volker's now right on the back of Kuba as they head towards the end of the lap. Around this tight, twisty left-right section, as they now head into the final few corners. They're about to head into turn 16, and now into 17 and 18. As they now head into turn 17 and now head through turn 18, as Wolf's car, you can see just by the exit of the pit lane, still rolling about, so eventually it will probably get pushed onto the wall, but Kuba still leads in the moment, but is Volker right behind as they come onto the straight, and it looks like he is. And is Volker going to make a move into turn 1 is the question. It doesn't look like he's close enough, but he does try and move. This Wolf's car still moving by the pit exit, but it doesn't. But Volker can't make the move stick, and Kuba keeps the lead for the moment in time. Burn up to 5th. Sorry, there's a big battle. The two Toro Rossos. Carl's trying to get past Robert Ionescu for 10th place, and he's made the move stick, and Ionescu could be duped here by the sister team Red Bull, but it doesn't look like it. It's James Willis is trying to get past. Roke's trying to get involved, but Moitin's got past Roke as well, so Moitin's taking advantage. And Roke's been duped as well. He's been duped himself by Roman Quag, and Quag's got past him for 14th place. That's not what Roke would have wanted at all. And now Quag's trying to get past Roman Moitin, the Force India. He's going on the inside, coming into turn 3, and there was so little contact between the Red Bull and the Toro Rosso there of Ionescu and Willows. Great racing so far, and we're only on lap 2 down in the backpack as Thompson's got past Joseph Willows. You can see on the graphic on the screen as it's now side by side between Quag and Moitin. So it looks like Quag is going to get past both Force Indias in a matter of corners. So good racing there from the Frenchman. So not good for Moitin or for Roke there, as now Roke has got Mocho right on his backside. As now we're on board with Waze Kuba, still leading, but he's still got Volker right on his tail. And Volker could try and make a move into turn 1 as they come through turn 18 onto the pit straight, past the very dangerous pit entry, I have to say. And now Volker's right in the slipstream, so he's on the inside coming into turn 1 as Volker sets a fast lap of the race, showing his authority. And he's on the inside into turn 1, and Volker leads this Grand Prix. That's exactly what he needs for the championship. As long as he finishes ahead of his teammate James Williams, he will be the 2010 champion. But Kuba is going to try and get right back here. He's got the slipstream. Is he going to try and go around the outside of Volker down the straight and into turn 3? It's a very, very long straight, one of the longest of the season. As Kuba's round the outside, is he going to make a move into turn 3? And the answer is, he locks up a bit, but he's still round the outside. Has Volker completed it? Yes, he has. And Volker does now officially take the lead, but Kuba's still right behind, so he could still make a move into turn 4. Is he going to make it? No, he's not. Volker has covered that very, very well indeed. And Florian Volker leads the Korean Grand Prix. As we now head onto lap 5, here's Joseph Willows, who's gone off, and he just comes right up back on the track in front of, I believe that was his brother, James Willows there. So that was nearly a very dangerous takeout there from Joseph Willows, probably frustrated at the bad luck he's had in the last few races. He's retired from, I believe it's the last 4 races in a row. So there goes James Willows past him, so he nearly took him out there, so that was quite lucky. He didn't, as we're now on board with Jay McKenzie, who is running in 18th place. He's only moved a couple of one position, I should say. It's just not been his race. There's a car gone off, and the Lotus has just come right from his path. That's Michael Mocho. That's another example of poor driving from Mocho. Even though he's got points this season, he's just let himself down with another pitiful display of driving there. Just comes out right in front of Jamie McKenzie there. He's surely going to get a penalty for that, because that was just really, really stupid there from Michael Mocho once again, showing that if he does move up to another team, that unfortunately he's essentially Pastor Malda Mocho, that's what I'll call him, as now Kenny Bryce is out the race, and that's a transmission problem there. And Unfortunately for him, that's the first retirement of the Korean Grand Prix, as he retires from, I believe it was 17th place. He was running pretty well, Bryce, but unfortunately the car let him down. So you can see he was coming down the pit straight, and it looked to be all going nice and rosy for him. Car 98 running in 17th place, but unfortunately the Virgin let him down again. As you can see, he seems to be going okay coming down into turn 3, but then as just he turns around, just he comes around the corner, just he's about to get going, boom, there goes the transmission. So unfortunately for Kenny Bryce, that ends his race. P17 and on 7, he retires for the Grand Prix. How unfortunate that is. So the first retirement of the race goes to Kenny Bryce, and I've just realised that it's not the first retirement of the race, that is Anna Wolf, who crashed on the first lap. So once again, I don't know what to say about that. Anyway, so here is the battle for, I believe, is this still the lead of the race? No, it can't be actually. I think it must be, no, it is James Willows battling with Will Nella. I was going to say, I didn't think Cooper had got past Volker, but no, it is a battle with the other Red Bull and Ferrari. So Willows trying to get past Nella into turn 1, and Willows does make the move stick. So he moves up to 7th place, and now, oh, Will Nella spins spectacularly. Coming the left-hander there, and he's hit the wall, and Will Nella's out of this Grand Prix. So unfortunate there as the cars head on to lap 10, but Will Nella showing how tricky it is in these wet conditions. You can see he just goes offline, he just slides off like he was on an ice rink there. He just goes a bit offline, and woo, there he goes, just slides off there and into the wall, unfortunately. So Will Nella, the third retirement from this race, retires on lap 9 of the Grand Prix. You can see just goes wide there. He was never really on the line. It was just so slippery offline that unfortunately it just makes him go well off the track and into the SK Zik hoardings on the wall there. But at least it'll give the that sponsor some time on the TV. So Nella out of the race, as now Evan Byrne comes into the pits for his first stop of the Grand Prix and the first stop of the Grand Prix. So let's see how quick the stop will be. So it looks like they're going for probably a 3-stop strategy for Renault. So let's see if that works out come the end of the race. Evan Byrne comes out a 7.3 second stop for the Irishman. So where is he going to come out? That'll be interesting to see. So he's dropped down to P10. And it also should be noted that they are using the new pit exit that was used obviously in the 2013 and 12 Grand Prix, as Florian Volker, the leader, comes into the pits, not the 2010 pit exit that was incredibly dangerous and basically led cars right onto the line of sight of any F1 car that came round on a lap or even in the race. So that is a good thing, as Volker has had to wait for, it looks like that is Waze Kuba coming into the pits, so that might affect him. Coming out, so Waze Kuba comes in for his first stop, so it looks like all these guys are going for 3 stops maybe. It doesn't look like it probably be a 2, but they might be looking obviously at the weather for later in the race, because obviously we know that the rain is going to get heavier, and it's not exactly heavy at the moment. It's not exactly raining, as now here comes Michael Oscawi trying to get past Robert Ionescu in the Toro Rosso. Ionescu, who will remain with Toro Rosso for next season, although there were question marks as to whether either driver would stay at the team, but it looks like the team have decided to retain them. They've still got faith in them. As now Miguel Oscawi is going past, I believe this is Finley Strachan for 12th place, and Miguel Oscawi makes 12th his, gets past Finley Strachan into turn 1 as the cars come onto the back straight, the long back straight. I believe it's the longest on the calendar, I think. As now here we are on board with the Red Bull of, I believe this is Florian Volker, and he's gone wide, coming round through turn 16, or coming through turn 15 I should say, and he was behind the Williams, I believe that was of Sam Thompson I should say. He was running behind, he backed off the spray, but unfortunately, because he just couldn't steer the car, just got quite a lot of understeer and just went wide. Fortunately didn't spin the car, but got onto the curbs, and then he rejoined the track. As now here we are on board with a Mercedes of, I believe, is this Alex Southgate? It is Alex Southgate, who's trying to get past some lap traffic here. As he's got past, I believe that is Jay McKenzie. He's now trying to get past Jordan Maturin in the Virgin, as they now come onto the straight past the other pits. And Alex Southgate trying to get past Maturin around the outside here, but it doesn't look like Maturin is giving it up, which is kind of strange, although Southgate has got the line, so surely he's going to take it into the right-hander, but no, he doesn't. He actually backs off coming around, so Southgate still hasn't got past him yet, but now he's going back around the outside now, and oh, he goes on the curb, and he goes on the grass, and he's lost the place of Maturin and McKenzie have unlapped themselves there. You could just cue the Vettel blue flag radio messages right now from Southgate. and so he won't be happy at this. He'll be furious with the two drivers for well, certainly with maturing, that is, for not letting him through. As now here is Sam Thompson, who's trying to get past. It looks like, is this Florian Volker? And it is. And oh, there's contact between the two coming into turn 3. And Thompson, I think, has still made the move stick as Volker is still on the outside. Thompson forces out wide and takes 4th place from Volker. Not like that at all. So well done to Sam Thompson for giving a battle there for one of the Red Bulls. And that is Southgate, who's still not yet got past Maturin here. He must be very, very annoyed. And he still can't get past him. And it's quite tricky to overtake, especially in the last section of the track where it is. There are a lot of walls close to the track, so it is kind of tight around these bits. Around especially, I think, turn 13 to 18. That's where it is very tight. So Southgate now is trying to go around the outside, coming through the right-hander. And has he finally done it yet? The answer is yes, he has. But that will cost him a lot of time as he comes through. As Felix Sonntag is actually closed up, I think. He was well back, Sonntag, but now due to the traffic and due to how long it took Southgate to get past Maturin, Sonntag has actually caught up, and now Southgate actually does go into the pits. So that could have affected Southgate really badly. That could have played to Felix Sonntag's advantage there. Possibly Volker, but that mistake also might have cost him. Quite a fascinating race, and we've only been 20 laps. So this weather has certainly spiced up the action. So Southgate comes in the pits. This will probably be a 2-stop race, I think. So you can see they fueled him for quite a bit, so I imagine it will be a 2-stop race. A 2-stop, I should say, for Southgate. But oh, he's had to wait for a car to come in. That was Sam Thompson he's had to wait for. So that might affect him. And oh no, the crew have not yet come out for Thompson. So Thompson could be affected badly by this. I don't know what the Williams crew were doing there, because I mean, Adam Wolf hadn't yet come into the... Well, Adam Wolf was out the race, so I don't really know who they possibly could have been waiting for. But unless they were waiting for their coffees or something, but I don't know. But Thompson comes out the pits, 17.1 seconds stop. That is not good there from the Williams crew. A bit of lack of communication there. So Thompson could lose a few slots because of this. As now Roland Moitin for Force India comes in for his first stop of the Grand Prix. Moitin, who took a fantastic 3rd place at Suzuka last time out, which means he got driver of the day and got Force India's first podium of the season. I can't say only because it still is possible. But, I mean, considering how the season has gone, it's not gone very well, especially for George Roque, but also for Moitin as well. They've just not had any luck at all. Moitin, who will obviously be staying at Force India, with Viggo Hulst going back to Force India. So Roque, obviously, as I said, is a free agent, so we don't know where he's going. But we know for certain where Moitin's going. He'll be staying at Force India. I think deservedly so, really. I think, as I said, he's got the team's podium for the season, so... And he's scored a lot of points. So anyway, let's go back to the action. So here is a battle between Moitin's teammate, actually, George Roque, and I believe that is Roman Quag in front of him. I think it is. And now Viggo Hulst is right behind as well. So on board with Hulst, who's now trying to go with Hulst Roque. As I believe Quag has gone into the pits, and yes, he has. You can see on the graphic on the bottom of your screen as Hulst goes past Roque into turn 1, and he completes the move for 10th place. So here is Florian Volker, who I believe is behind his teammate James Willows. I believe it is, as they come through turn 18, as Volker is right behind as they now come onto the straight. So Volker's surely going to make his move into the first corner. He's got the slipstream, and he's going to surely get past James Willows coming into the first corner, side by side, and Volker makes the move stick. As Willows unfortunately has to back off to let his teammate through. Probably team orders there for the championship, although James Willows probably won't like that, considering he's the one in the battle for the championship. But we have no idea what's going on there at Red Bull. And meanwhile, at the sister team, Toro Rosso, Robert Ionescu is in the pits for the first time, I believe. Ionescu, who's not had a... Well, I mean, Toro Rosso haven't really had that much of a brilliant season, as Volker now comes in for his second stop of the race. So Volker has already pitted before, so obviously this will be a 3-stop. So obviously it was quite nice. So we can see 2.5. He could have gone for another lap maybe, but Volker comes in 19.9. I don't actually... Well, I was about to say he can't make it to the end, but of course he's making a 3-stop, so I don't even know what I'm saying here. But Volker comes in a 7.4 second stop, as Robert Ionescu comes out down in 18th place. That was Ionescu's first stop of the race. So I don't know if that's exactly that strategy has worked out very well for Toro Rosso or not. But we will find out come the end of the race, because obviously the rain is meant to get heavier. It's raining at the moment, so let's see what will happen come the end of the race. So it looks like Volker's just going to come up behind Joseph Willows, and he does so. As now Evan Byrne comes in for his second stop of the race, so he's obviously going on the 3-stop strategy as well. So let's see where he will come out back on the track. 7.3 second stop for him. So he's going to come out, looks like probably in 10th place. He's dropped down to 9th. Will he go down to 10th? It will probably be around about there. So he comes out with quite a long pit exit, obviously having to go all the way back to where the crowd is. Now there's contact. Oh, there's contact between Joseph Willows and I believe that's Florian Volker. And it is, and Volker's spun. Willows is in the wall and he's out the race. Volker has spun, but he's got itself back going. But that will affect him. That will benefit Southgate a lot there, and benefit James Willows as well. So Volker tried to make a move coming into the left-hander when Nella also had the incident, and I mean I don't know really who is to fault there, but we'll have another look at the replay. I mean Volker did try and go on the inside, but let's have another look at the view. I think because I mean there'll be a lot of people wondering what was going on there. So obviously Volker was right behind Willows, and they came into the corner, and you can see I mean Volker was on the inside. Maybe Joseph Willows should have given him a bit more room, I guess. I think they'll probably give that as a racing incident. I don't think there'll be a penalty for that. But Volker is still in the race, but Joseph Willows has retired now 5 races in a row. His disastrous season with McLaren continues. Not the season he would have wanted at all. It's just not gone well. He's won, obviously, a race this season. He's won the German Grand Prix, but aside from that, it's been nothing but bad luck for him. As Viggo Holst is in the pits, and Finley Strachan's in the pits. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. So now the other crew are going to have to come up for Strachan, so that's not worked out very well for Sauber at all. And there must have been a miscommunication there because the crew obviously were not going to be ready for Finley Strachan, so that's going to hold him up a considerable amount. So that's not very good there from the Sauber pit crew. So that will affect Strachan later in the race as they come in, because he's already 43 seconds in the stop. So let's see how long this stop will be, as Waze Cooper is now in the pits, and it's a 26.5 second stop. Very unfortunate there for him, and I believe, and obviously Waze Cooper from Ferrari is in for his second stop of the Grand Prix. So let's see where he will come out on the track. I believe he'll have to make another stop before the end. 6.1 second stop, so I think it was a quick one, so I imagine it probably will be another stop for Cooper before the end of the Grand Prix. As he comes out on track, he'll come out, looks like probably, is he going to be in front of Sam Thompson or just behind? It looks like he's going to be behind Sam Thompson. And it is, so he'll be coming out in 6th place. As now Felix Sonntag, we haven't seen him at all this race, is going to come in for his, I believe, his second stop of the race. I don't actually know, I don't think we've actually seen him make a stop yet. But we've seen him now, so he comes into the pits for his stop of the race. So he nearly actually ran out of fuel, very close there. So it looks like that Sonntag will probably be going to the end. I don't think I'd really see why he'd make another stop before the end. But anyway, he comes out an 8.4 second stop, so a bit slow there for the Mercedes crew. Armand Carr comes out in 13th place, as he will come out obviously ahead of Sonntag there. And now we have a car off, and that's Viggo Holst for Sauber who's gone off. And that is coming into that infamous left-hander where everyone seems to be going off these days. So Holst went wide, and as he was trying to rejoin the track, he went on the curb and slipped. And he spun. Unfortunately, there were no cars around him, so he managed to get going very, very quickly, which means he hasn't lost that much time. He still lost a considerable amount, but not as much as he could have done, trying to at least get himself back going compared to like what everyone seems to be doing. Which seems to be taking ages to get going, seemingly spinning again. As now George Roque comes in for, I believe, his first stop at the Grand Prix. I don't think he's actually made a stop yet, and he's 0.3, so that was very, very close there from the Force India crew. And James Willows, I believe, on the graphic is coming in the pits, and yes, he is. James Willows comes into the pits for his first stop of the Grand Prix. Well, not his first stop, I believe it's his second stop, I should say. And he'll be fueled to the end as well. So let's see where he will come out. So an 8.6 second stop from the Red Bull crew as James Willows heads back out onto the track. So obviously we don't know about the weather yet. We imagine it's going to probably get wetter as the race goes on, as Evan Burns seems to have gone wide here. So what's happened there? So he's tried to lap. Is that Jordan Maturin again? Looks like he's got himself into another bit of bother, and then, oh my god! And Maturin's just barged him off the track there. Evan Byrne, we know he's kind of a bit of a hot-headed Irishman, but he won't be too pleased with that at all. So Maturin should have just really backed off for the corner to let Byrne through, and he just clouts him off the track there. So Byrne will not be happy with that at all. Once again, the Vettel Blue Flags radio messages will be coming through the radio on Byrne now as well. So he needs to get past Maturin as quick as possible. Maturin needs to get out of the way and probably needs to get out of this race as soon as possible. He doesn't want to get slaughtered by the whole F1 paddock after his antics, especially with Alex Southgate. And speaking of Alex Southgate, here he is coming into the pits for another stop. So let's see how quick the stop will be from the Mercedes crew. So he actually had a lot of fuel there, so he's fueled himself. I don't know if he's actually fueled himself to the end there. It doesn't seem like enough fuel. So I don't know what's going on there from the Mercedes crew, but I mean, he still had a considerable amount of fuel there, so that's very interesting indeed. So Mackenzie's in the pits, Sam Thompson's in the pits as well. So I wonder what's going on here as Mackenzie comes into the pits. Doesn't look like he'll be getting any points today. Mackenzie obviously did have more of a reason to come into the pits. He didn't have that much fuel left. Now Florian Volker comes into the pits for another stop. So I don't know if this is maybe teams reacting to maybe the wet weather, but I don't know. I mean, as you can see, Volker has a lot of fuel in there. He still had 9.5 left in his tank, but now he's gone up to 22. So I imagine that will probably be enough for him to go in the race. Quark's in the pits as well. Car's in the pits as well. There's a number of drivers in the pits, so maybe they are reacting to this, to the weather. As you can see, it is raining pretty considerably now. So Car comes out the pits. 6.8 second stop for him. So they're currently on the wet tyres. Obviously, we have the extreme wets that could come. We don't know yet, but Evan Byrne now comes into the pits for another stop. I imagine this will be to get him to the end of the race, because we're now on lap 36 of the Grand Prix, as Evan Byrne comes into his stop. And let's see, it doesn't look like they fueled him to the end either, so very interesting strategies going on from each crew here, as Evan Byrne will come out of the pits. Felix Sontag currently leads the race with James Willows in second place, but I believe there's still probably be a number of stops still to be done before the end, as Evan Byrne comes out, looks like just inside the points in 8th position. So Gal looks like he's managed to get himself back up into the points, so a good recovery from him, as Byrne is set to come out the pits in 8th place, and he does so. And now Felix Sontag is coming into the pits, I believe, for his final stop, and he only just pitted a few laps to go, so yeah, let's I don't really know how to describe this really, but Felix Sontag comes in. I mean, they won't put much more fuel in this car. You see, they've only put like a 0.3 of a litre in there, and Volker spun off again. Florian Volker has spun off again, so unfortunately it looks like the win will go out the window for Volker, so it looks like it's probably becoming more unlikely that he will win the championship in this race. He seems to be making a couple of mistakes. He's kind of bottling it, you could say, in this race, but he's still got a considerable lead, so I suppose in some ways you can't really say that, but he does say, but he spins off, and he manages to rejoin pretty quickly there, because he needs to, if he wants to at least get himself a podium, to ensure that he's a considerable amount of points ahead of Willows, because he has to finish above him to win the title. So now Jules Roque, who's got a considerable amount of fuel, he comes in the pits as well with another set of the wet tyres on. James Willows has also made a stop behind him, so he's gone on to the wet tyres. So interesting strategy going on from each team here, as Felix Sontag goes past Willows there, and Volker goes past Willows as well, coming into turn 1, but Willows will have the fresher tyres as Volker goes on to the back straight. So now into the pits comes Waze Cooper. Now, interestingly, he's gone on to the extreme wets, or the monsoon tyres as they're also called. So as you can see, the track does look like it is become considerably wetter now. So could that become an advantage come the end of the race? We don't know yet. So it looks like Kuba is the first to go. So all the teams will be looking out, especially the front runners, to see how this goes here. So I wonder if some teams will start to go to the monsoon tyres, because if the rain keeps coming, then the track will keep on getting wetter as Thompson goes past him there. So Kuba is the first one to go onto the extreme wets with the white stripe through them to notice the difference between the other tyres. So now here we are on board with James Willows, who's now trying to go past the teammate Volker. He doesn't want him to win the championship here, and Willows wants it to go to Abu Dhabi, and he's going to take it to Abu Dhabi as he goes past Florian Volker. Big in the championship here, as team orders have clearly gone out the window here, as Alex Southgate is leading, and oh, Michael Mocho has blocked him, and Southgate spun off. Southgate from the lead, and Mocho has once again done himself in there, and Michael Mocho is not doing himself any favours. He'll probably still get a seat for next season, but he's certainly not going to move higher than Lotus with that sort of driving. I don't know what he was doing there. He was right in front of Alex Southgate. He should have just stayed on the right-hand lane, but he just seemed to block him off. I don't really know what was going on there, unless he didn't see him because of all the spray from the rain. But, I mean, aside from that, I don't really know what he was thinking there. And, oh, there's a Renault out, and that looks like, who is that? It is, I think that is Jay McKenzie. And it is Jay McKenzie. So he's come into that left-hander where everyone seems to be struggling in this race. He was running in 15th, so I don't think he really had any chance of points. He was coming through, and you can see he just goes wide there, and he just can't see the car at all. And he tries to stop it going to the wall, but not enough. Just a wall was there to prevent him from going into the crowd, of course, which is a good thing. But unfortunately for McKenzie, that is him out of the race. So here we are on board with James Willows, who is, I believe, battling with, is this Alex Southgate in second place, or is this Felix Sontag? It might be Felix Sontag, actually, I'm not sure. As he's trying to move past him, I believe that is Felix Sontag, and there is contact there between the two, and, well, they've got away with any spin there, but James Willows is still trying to get past Sontag, and oh, there's more contact there on the straight, and Sontag seemed to come in front of Willows there, and Volker's taken full advantage there, and taken third place, exactly what he would have needed for the championship. And Volker now might even try and get Sontag coming into turn 3 at the end of the straight. You can see the clouds have really come over. It is raining hard there. So Kuba's currently the only one. And oh, Willows tried a late lunge on Volker coming into turn 3 there, but he doesn't quite make the move stick. So I don't think anyone else aside from Kuba has tried to go on the extreme wets until Mikolas Gal has just done now. So let's see how this goes. So now I think teams are starting to react. And there's another car that's come in front of Gal that's coming in front of Gal there. I can't quite tell who it is, but it looks like the extreme wets might be the way to go. We will see, as Southgate currently leads this race by 7 seconds ahead of Felix Sontag, as James Willows is right behind his teammate Volker. This could be a very interesting battle for or come the end of the race, or coming towards the end of the race. We only have 8 laps left of this Grand Prix, but we don't know. So anyway, so James Willows still trying to get past Volker as they come through turn 1, and Alex Southgate is in the pits. So Alex Southgate, I think, is going to go to the extreme wets, as now I believe this is Willows trying to get past Volker into turn 1, and he didn't quite make it there. But now this is going to be fascinating to see. So Alex Southgate has decided to go onto the extreme wets for the final 7 laps of the Grand Prix, as James Willows is still trying to get past Volker coming down the straight, and he's on the inside into turn 3, and surely Willows is going to make the move stick now, and yes, he does. So all these 3 are currently on wet tyres, and Alex Southgate is on extreme wet. So now this will be very interesting to see if Southgate can close up or not. So could Alex Southgate try and go for the win here? Because he was leading, so I think he's trying something different. If he pulls this off, he'll be known in folklore really as Felix Sontag still leading this race in the moment with 5 laps to go. James Willows is now right on his back, as Volker has dropped off from Willows pretty significantly as they come through turn 4. As turn 5, sorry, and now coming to turn 6, and Sontag has gone wide, and Sontag has lost the lead of the race, and he's lost it to the 2 Red Bulls. It's a Red Bull 1-2. Willows leads, Volker's second. Great for the championship for both Red Bulls. Not good for Volker though. He still needs to get in front of him if he closes up. But unfortunately, Felix Sontag has lost the lead of this race, and that has probably cost him the victory there. As you can see, Sontag goes wide onto the grass with 5 laps to go. Unfortunately, he's kind of bottled it under pressure there. The chance to get his first victory of the season, and unfortunately, it does not happen for him here. Goes wide onto the grass, just slips wide, and unfortunately allows Willows and Volker to go through there. But the best he can probably hope for now is probably a podium, unless Kuba or Southgate can close up, and he is Alex Southgate. So Southgate has closed up on Kuba, who's also got the extreme wet tyres, but it doesn't look like he's managed to make any impact on them. So Southgate has taken 4th place now, so I don't know what difference that will make. I don't know how far Sontag is up ahead, and you can see he's just gone through the camera view, so Alex Southgate could try and close up on Sontag here. So this could be a fascinating end of the race. You can see Moitin is still on the wet tyres, Kuba on the extreme wets, Gal's obviously on the extreme wets, down in 8th place. It's now Stan Thompson battling with Vigor Holst. Vigor Holst who's also on the Extreme Wet, so obviously I think Extreme Wets are the better tyre here. So I think Extreme Wets are now starting to work out very well. And here is Southgate, who's closed up on Sontag with 4 laps left. Can Southgate get a podium here? Could he even win this race? We don't know. Southgate's making a late move into turn 1. And oh, Nicholas Gal's gone off from 7th place. And he was on the Extreme Wets, which proves it's still very wet out there. And he goes into the wall, but he taps it very lightly. So no harm done there. But Nicholas Gal, unfortunately, has lost 7th place. He's probably still going to get the points unless Moitin closes up on him. But Nicholas Gal eventually will rejoin the track, but he's lost a considerable amount of time. And he's lost 7th place, I think, for sure, to Evan Byrne. He was on the Extreme Wets as well. I think he's just actually got past Evan Byrne. But unfortunately, he has screwed that up there, and he's lost 7th place. You can see he goes wide, and he manages to stop it just in time. You can see he's desperately steering, desperately braking. The car's just sliding delicately into the wall, and he taps it very nicely there, but doesn't get any damage as well. So now here is Alex Silky. He is closed up on Florian Volker for 2nd place, and Volker is under pressure here. So Volker is certainly not going to win the championship at this rate, and Kuba's now caught up to Sontag. So I think the Extreme Wets are the tyre to be on. And Southgate's going to try to make a move into turn 1. Is he on the inside? No, he's not. And Kuba's now on the inside of Sontag. He's taken 4th place. So Kuba is flying now. And so is Alex Southgate. And look at the grip that Southgate has. He's just breezed past Volker. And now Alex Southgate could go for the win here. What a dramatic scenes of this Grand Prix. Alex Southgate might have made just the best decision, tactical decision this season. And James Willows is up front. He may not be up there for long as Volker attempts to get past Southgate. But unfortunately that was never going to work on better tyres. It looks like the rain has consistently come down. It's worked out very well for Southgate. And it looks like it's going to work out very well for Kuba at this rate. He might even get past Volker at this rate. But Southgate is currently in 2nd place. He is going to go for the win to take his first victory of the season. And oh, Romain Quag in the Lotus is out of the Grand Prix. The Frenchman who had been having a decent race. There's a wheel there, so let's hope it doesn't affect the order. So he had a transmission problem and a brake problem. So unfortunately the car has just gone on him with only 3 laps to go. As Romain Quag was just coming through there. He's had the problem for a while, but he just unfortunately couldn't make it back to the pits. He only had a few corners left to get back to the pits, but didn't happen for him. So unfortunately that is Romain Quag out of the Grand Prix. As James Williams currently leads back, Southgate is right behind him now. He's closed up with him as we're about to go on to the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Southgate is surely going to win this race here. He just needs to bide his time. He's got the better tyres. He'll have the better grip. Williams will be defenceless surely as they come through the last section lap, and Southgate is now right on his backside as they head through turn 16. Now they head through 17 and then they'll head through 18, and look at that, Southgate is right behind him. He's got in the slipstream, and Alex Southgate is about to go around the outside. He tries to around 18, but he'll probably go wide into the wall if he does that, but it won't matter. Southgate just needs to bide his time, and Alex Southgate is going on the inside of James Williams. We now have 2 laps left, but Alex Southgate is going to take the lead of the Korean Grand Prix. What a decision Mercedes have made, and that might have just won Southgate the race, and Kuba is now right behind Volker for 3rd. So a good decision by Ferrari as well. Might have got Kuba a podium here, but Alex Southgate is leading this race, and look at the gap he's pulled already. So the Extreme Wets have worked out very well. And now Kuba's trying to get past Volker for 3rd place. He's going around the outside before turn 3. It's side by side. Kuba's surely going to get it because he has the tyre grip. And is he going to do it coming into turn 3? Volker's holding it around the outside, around the inside. Kuba's going to go around the outside. And has Kuba done it? Yes, he has. And here is your current leader of the race, Alex Southgate. He had made a great qualifying, his best qualifying of the season. He hadn't had a great season. He hasn't had a brilliant season. He's been beaten comfortably in most races by his teammate Philip Sontag, who's got certainly the more consistent point finishes so far this season. Southgate, who I don't believe has actually got a podium yet in the season. He's got a lot of 6th and 7th place finishes, but nothing much else as Southgate comes through turn 3. So that strategy turned out very well for Mercedes in the end. The Extreme Wets were the tyre to be on at the end of the race. I guess probably some teams maybe didn't read the radar correctly as Southgate is about to head through turn 4. Willows is set to get 2nd place, it looks like, and I believe Kuba obviously got past Volker for 3rd. So I don't know if Kuba's going to be able to catch up to Willows to get 2nd place. I think he's a bit behind, but obviously Southgate made 3 stops. So it looks like the 3-stopper was the way to go with regards to the weather, as that was the way to do it. As Southgate is coming through the infield section of the track, the right-left circuit. He comes through the left-hander, which has been causing everyone problems this race. He gets through there comfortably, no problems there at all, as he heads to the sharp right-hander. As Southgate heads towards the end of the lap, it's been an incredible race so far in Korea, the first ever Korean Grand Prix. Like the real-life one in 2010 was also wet, but this certainly has served up a lot of action in regards to the title race. So at this moment in time, Lauren Volker is not going to win the championship here in Korea. So it looks like it will go down to the penultimate race, with the next race being in Abu Dhabi. As Southgate is about to come through the final section of corners, he comes through turn 15. Now he's coming through turn 16. And now Alex Southgate heads through turn 17, and he's about to come through turn 18. Round the very dangerous pit entry at Southgate, Mercedes made a fantastic tactical decision to put him under extreme wets, and Alex Southgate is going to take his first victory of the season for Mercedes. Congratulations to him. What a race. 1 hour and 53 minutes, by far the longest race of the season. And James Willows is going to get second place, and Kuba, you can see, he's just in the background, not going to have enough time to close up to Willows. So Kuba takes third place, and Florian Volker is going to take fourth, but the championship will be going to Abu Dhabi, the penultimate race of the season, which I think is partly what everyone had hoped for, so it wouldn't be decided early, as Felix Sonntag is going to come home in 5th place. He was leading with 5 laps left, he went wide, and that eventually cost him in the end. He probably wouldn't have won anyway, but he could have got maybe a podium out of it, as Maturin comes home in 15th place. Viggo Holst is set to come home in 9th place. He'll just miss out on the points for Sauber. Not the race he probably would have wanted, but anyway, Holst comes across the line in 9th place, or at least get a top 10 finish. Roland Moichi is going to get a 10th place finish for Force India. So it looks like, unfortunately, both Force Indians are not going to score so far in this race. And Sam Thompson is set to come home in a very, very impressive 6th place. We hadn't really heard of him at all this race, but he stayed in the points, and he had a great qualifying, and well done to him. So Evan Byrne is set to come home. He'll get some points to this race, but he'll be pretty annoyed with Maturin afterwards. He'll be having some strong words. So he comes home in 7th. As now George Rowe is set to come home in 11th place, with Miklos Gal trying to lap him, with Michael Mocho also trying to get past him as well. You can see Gal goes round him on the extreme wet tyres, so obviously that's the tyre to be on at the end, as now Mocho tries to go past Roke across the line, but Roke comes home in 11th, Mocho will come home in 16th, Finnish Strachan will come home in 12th. He probably would have got a better result had he not been held up, or Sauber made that error on the pit stop, so he comes home in 12th place. He'll be annoyed with that. Amar Khan will come home in 13th place, not really a good race for him or Toro Rosso, as Ionescu comes home in 14th place, not really a race for them at all. But there is your winner of the race. Alex Southgate takes his first victory of the season for Mercedes. Congratulations. What a race that was. Definitely a race to remember at the Korean Grand Prix. What a end of the race that was. The last 15 laps were probably the best of the season. I mean, I said that about last race, but I don't know really what to say. But here are the race results. So Alex Southgate wins with James Willows 2nd, Waze Cooper 3rd, Volker 4th, Billy Somtag 5th, Sam Thompson 6th, Evan Byrne 7th, and Miklos Gal completing the top 8, being the last one on the lead lap, with the following drivers being a lap down: Viggo Holst, Roland Moich, George Roke, Vinny Strachan, Amar Khan, Robert Ionescu, with Maturin and Mocho being 2 laps down, Roman Quark still being classified, but Kenzie, Joseph Willows, Will Neller, Bryson Wolf retiring from this race. Bogus at the fastest lap with Sonntag 3rd, Willows 4th, Cooper 4th, Gal 5th, Burns 6th, Southgate 7th, Thompson 8th, Holst 9th, Willows 10th, Strachan 11th, Roke, Carr, Moichin, Ionescu, Mackenzie, Quark, Maturin, Neller, Mocho, Rice, and of course Anna Wolf, who didn't set a lap because he got taken out at the start line, essentially, unfortunately. So here are the point standings. So Volker has a 16-point lead over Willows, so he just needs to still finish ahead of him come the next race in Abu Dhabi to win the championship. Will Neller is 20 points behind him, with Gal also on the same points as him, so that could be an interesting battle for third place, with Kuba just 6 points behind. So that could be a battle there for third place. Joseph Willows all the way down on 44. Not been a great season for him. Sonntag 42. Southgate up to 8th with 35. Byrne 9th with 28. Mackenzie 10th with 24. Moich 11th with 17. Thompson 14. Wolf 11. Strachan 11. Holst 9. Roke 6. Mocho 4. Carr 4. Ionescu 3. Maturin 1. With Roman Quark and Killian Bryce on 0 points. So obviously those are the only 2 drivers not to score points this season. Obviously we have had all teams score a point this season. So, I mean, at least that proves that at least it's good for both teams, but especially good for Lotus, who scored, obviously, 4 points this season with Michael Mocho, and, of course, 1 point with Jordan Maturin for Virgin. So here are the team standings. You can see Red Bull are actually the the constructors champions after Korea. I actually had no idea that they could win it this race, but it turns out they have. So well done to Red Bull for winning the constructors championship. They could get a double this year. Ferrari behind in second, McLaren third. They could still get second possibly. Mercedes down in fourth with 77. Renault fifth with 52. Williams sixth with 25. Forsyth is seventh with 23. Sauber eighth with 20. So it could be a battle there for sixth. Taurus on 9th with 7 points, 10th is Lotus with 4, and 11th place Virgin with 1 point. Well, that has been the Korean Grand Prix. That was an incredible race. I mean, I don't know actually personally if that was better than the Japanese Grand Prix. I don't know. Well, vote for your driver of the day, of course, don't forget, as usual, and give the race a rating out of 10, and we will see which one is better, Japan or Korea. So thank you very much for watching, guys. We will see you in Abu Dhabi, where we will see if the championship will be decided then. Thank you for watching, and we will see you there. Goodbye.